Welcome to the Concept 101 podcast. My name is Daniel.
Stefan.
And Jules.
We're three concept artists currently working in the film and games industry, as well as the organisers of the Concept 101 event in London. Now, today's episode is going to be not that different, but a little bit different because we're kind of trying to celebrate the new year with everybody. Woo! So,
Hey!
Happy New Year, I guess.
Happy New Year's. It's not
Happy
New Year's
Year.
for us yet.
No.
No, it's far.
Big flash info for you. But
What do you mean? We're recording this on the day.
Yes.
Yeah. But what we thought we would do is, since it's the new year, it's a great time for introspection, looking ahead at like what you want to do and kind of, taking a look backwards at what we've done this year, the things we learnt, the things that didn't go so well for us, the things that we want to do in the coming year, and just having a chat about that. And, maybe even inspiring you guys to have a look at like what you've done this year and what you want to do moving forward.
Yeah, so we hope you are in festive season. You had all your Christmas presents, you had all your Christmas food, and now you're sitting down, listening to our podcast, doing a little bit of drawing because you
Next
want
to
to
a
get
nice
better.
fire pit with a little Christmas tree,
Yeah.
which is probably...
What, in the
which is-
fire.
Yes. Yes, because it's too late
It's
now.
the new year, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, like in Russia and Ukraine, they like in those countries, they celebrate New Year's Eve as like their main kind of event. So they give presents on New Year's Eve, for example.
really?
They don't give presents on Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Christmas
just-
is more like a religious.
Yeah. I think
Rather than-
Netherlands also has a weird timing from Christmas. I think it's during Saint Nicholas on the 6th. That's their Christmas. I think, don't sue me.
Thanks for the... Well, this is great. Some great little facts for everybody there, which may or may not
I
be
might have
wrong.
heard that in one country, maybe. I don't know which one. They do something, but I forgot about it. So, that's it.
Well, great little facts aside, which maybe you learned before this year or potentially this year. I guess I'll start off with talking about like, I think we're all going to talk about like new things that we learned this year, things that we felt didn't go so well, and stuff like we want to do in the coming year. So one thing that I really want to talk about to start off with, and I know Jules can relate to this, is this year in the film industry, I'm sure you heard, but we had strikes. And this was a pretty crazy thing to kind of exist through in the industry, I feel, so early on in our careers. I don't know how you felt about it.
I'm surprised I'm alive.
Yeah, same, honestly, yeah.
It was, I think for both of us, it was
Scary.
We're going to talk about later as well that we had a new job as well.
Yeah.
But new job, boom strikes, right? So it was a very interesting combo. But yet alone, the strike by itself was very, I guess, quite confusing. And not knowing what's going to happen in such a way is quite scary. I think we got quite lucky to be in a company which we were able to keep working there. And we didn't lose our jobs, which I think we're very fortunate about because we saw so many people lose their job in other companies and in the industry overall.
It was a very strange time because I also remember it, happening, and we went from a period of like being really busy at where I was working at the time, and suddenly everything just kind of stopped, and things actually stopped in film, like in-house, way before the strikes even happened, because there were already rumors floating around that a strike was going to come into action for the writers. And so loads of companies started preemptively closing up projects, shutting up shop, and that was just like, it was kind of bizarre, honestly, especially I guess when you grow up hearing about the movie industry and you presume that it's like super organized in a way, but it was shocking to me, and I'm sure anybody who kept up with the news, like how messy the whole process was, like so many like public indictments from the Writers Guild against the Producers Union, and it was just a weird time. And keeping up on the news every day was very stressful, where you'd wake up and I would log on to like the VFX subreddit and be like, has anything happened yet today? Is any work coming back?
It was a lot of like, we don't know, we have no clue. And it might last 2 years, or it might last two months, and it just keeps going, And he went for the whole summer, and I guess again we were very lucky, but you see like some jobs going away, some other jobs coming, like
Studios closing.
Yeah, studios closing.
I think it's like fair to say as well, like although it very luckily, as you said, didn't affect us, it was pretty scary to watch how many people lost their jobs really through no fault of their own. And like, I think we probably both want to just like offer our condolences to those people who had to essentially take the very shitty road through the strikes, because many people had like serious financial effects forced upon them, from not being able to get work. And yeah, it just really sucks. Yeah. And I'm hoping that this year we kind of have another boom similar to what we had during COVID, where initially it shut down and then everything got brought back up and more stuff came. And I'm hoping that the industry can get back to where it was really.
On another, I guess, good note is that like the concept art industry was very literally not impacted as much as the VFX was.
But I heard
other jobs.
I heard of people like even from Dave saying that there are people who haven't lost jobs in long time, and then he said that there are people that he's hearing about that now are not or were not working.
Well, it was a very bad strike at the end of the day, and it went on way longer than people thought it was.
It depends a lot of, I guess, the keeping a job or not. It is part of luck, a part of how much you cost. Yeah. I guess we're not that expensive, so we're there. And also which industry you work in. Like, for example, if I was in an art department for a movie in Hollywood and they stop filming, then I'm done. Doesn't matter how good I am, how cheap I am, how important the movie is. It's done. Nothing is happening, right? But thankfully, because of the company we work at, which is a VFX company, which has a lot of other stuff going than just movies as well, this allowed us like to just keep going, So it really, I think it's just no one was safe about it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah.
It's a lot about luck, I guess. But the good thing is that it's done.
Yeah, I think also, as you were saying earlier, like concept art was surprisingly unaffected by it in some ways. And I think the great thing is for people in the concept art industry versus VFX at large is that the work comes back to concept art first. So unfortunately, there's many people in VFX that are going to feel the ramifications of this for the next year. And that's just the really shitty truth. Yeah. Luckily, because concept art is so early in the process, we're already starting to see an improvement overall.
It's true that we also did feel it before anyone else.
Very true, yeah.
Because a lot of people that, we're still working on that show, which has like another 2 months to go on for. And then we're like, we already feel that, like there's nothing to pitch about, or there's no, if there's no actor for a TV show, they're not going to start doing the TV show because they don't know when it's going to stop. And, so we stopped, we had issues before, and it's going to get better faster, I guess, as well,
I suppose also I don't want to start off the episode with too much of a downer, but also I think this was also the first year which we all experienced major layoffs in the game sector, which was also pretty scary to watch because that happened almost immediately after the strikes began to resolve. Massive firings in the game sector, which was really, I mean, it's not been a great year, honestly, in terms of like job retention, unfortunately.
In terms of entertainment industry, it just like suffered a lot. Probably, I don't know what are the reasons for the layoffs for the games. To be honest, probably like some.
Let me give you the economy's not good.
but I think overall, there's going to be a lot of shifting around of talent. I imagine right now when people were like laid off and other people will be trying to get them. But I don't know. It is like, so that what I'm saying is like it's good because I think there is enough big companies that will be hiring people that got laid off, but I think there's also there will be people without jobs for a while.
Yeah, I think so as well, sadly. From my understanding, might be wrong, guys, because of COVID, we saw such a huge boom of the entertainment industry that most studios started hiring a lot, both video games and movie industry, and much more money was pooled onto many studios and many things. And now we're like 2 to 3 years after it, or more 2 years after it, where like, it really goes almost back to normal, plus the bad economy. And then
there's many factors, and what you're saying is totally right. A lot of companies massively overexpanded during COVID because they were like, well, everyone's going to be at home forever, right? Watching TV all day. And unfortunately, that appetite hasn't. Well, I don't think it's unfortunate. I think it's normal, and it probably should have been something that a lot of these companies predicted happening. But there you go. Oh, capitalism, yeah. But anyway, I guess like in terms of that, like definitely we're all hoping for next year for a happier year in the industry and hoping that things pick back up again and we can get back to where we were previously.
But that's a great way to start the year because it's done. You know, like totally. such a relief to hear that first the writers are back to work, which again for concept art that's what we need.
Yeah.
And then for the actors to also stop is even better because now that means that studios are ready to get the money back in.
Big weight off my shoulders.
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
heard
yeah,
that it was
yeah.
back.
It was definitely like good to hear the things that they managed to negotiate. And I think a lot of the strikes, at least the writer strikes and the actor strikes, were related to AI and like the pushback against it because of the producers. That I think I didn't read much into it, but I imagine the producers were trying to adapt the AI and writers just wanted to have like certain terms and conditions agreed before any of this happens in the industry.
Pretty
and
much, yeah.
I really personally see it as a major win for artists.
Yeah, I do too.
You know, they didn't do anything about concept art, but the fact that two such important jobs in the industry, in the creative industry, win in some way and goes in the right path in the AI fight, let's say, or in the AI cause or whatever you call it, it is a very, very good thing for concept artists, and he sets a backlog and a precedent.
Precedent's the word you're looking for, yeah.
Or a backlog,
Backlog,
yeah. Sends a save on my Skyrim game.
Yeah. I think as well, you know, talking about the year as well, and something that we all shared, like the strikes and the entertainment industry downturn, something I think we also all shared is maybe the realization that AI, probably at least in the immediate future, was not such a massive concern. I think it's really encouraging to see how the community at large, and also a lot of the general kind of populace of just like people out there who consume art, have all kind of started to agree, like, yeah, it is important that people actually make this stuff, and that people in, you know, I've seen like just publications in like normal newspapers like The Guardian, which are very kind of pro artist and pro people making work and doing things that make them happy. And I think that's a great thing, honestly, because I was a little bit worried last year about where this was going to go. And I think because of the massive amount of effort that a lot of people in the community, including like Steven Zapata, right, and Carla Ortiz, who are out in Washington, D.C., promoting anti-AI stuff, that because of all that effort, it has actually started to go somewhere, which is amazing.
It's totally true that if I could sit next to myself a year ago, or maybe I don't know, like a year ago when you listened to this, I mean, it was craziness about AI. Everyone was fucking freaking out a year ago, right? And now I'm so calm about it, I guess. I'm not fearing it at all.
But I think everybody needed to freak out about it and be worried to get it to have enough like almost backlash to get it to the point where we don't need to worry so much.
Yeah, totally.
I think there were a lot of very difficult conversations that were had at a lot of companies and a lot of people in the art community that, you know, there were enough proponents of like, yeah, actually people should be paid to do things that they like, and we shouldn't just machinize random stuff that is actually fun, you know. So that's why we are where we are.
I also think that this year was the year ChatGPT started too, right? It wasn't there last year.
It was there last year, I think.
But was it there as such as a...
No.
Because I think ChatGPT and the other models of AI, which are not visual, I mean, now they are, I guess, but I just thought they were not. They really also helped understand the wider public, not just artists, that AI is not very cool, and like you can also you know, it's not because you're artist you're gonna lose your job. It's like everyone could lose their job if we go the AI route. And I think this also helped us in a very good way because, you know, I don't think anyone wants to lose a job to AI, and now everyone in the world is impacted by this, which helps us.
Not everybody. I think everybody in countries that are led by white collar work generally. A lot of labor stuff is like actual manual labor is not going to be affected at all. I will say that because you're saying like, ChatGPT helped people realize who's being affected. I had a very funny conversation with a guy who I know who's a banker, and I was chatting to him, and I was like, so how do you feel about the AI stuff? And he went, well, I wasn't worried about it when it was your job that was being affected, but now I've seen how it can do like spreadsheets, I'm getting pretty fucking worried. And I was like, yeah, totally. This is good.
Similar chat with lawyers and doctors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good. If these people worry, it means that it's going to go in the right way for us.
Yeah.
Because they're probably more hurt than we are.
But I think we, in general, there was, even amongst our communities, we all tried to do pushback against it in our companies, I guess. I don't know. Or not pushback. I think we all explained. I also expressed, and luckily my art director is, very against all this stuff. And even in our some meetings, if someone is showing like there's a reference that was pulled like out of AI, that happens occasionally, they apologize during the meeting to everyone. They're like, we're sorry that like we understand that this is like not very good, but we hope it's like this one reference is okay or something. It's crazy because I never thought that would be happening.
I guess for the next year as well, like the thing to take away from this is to not kind of let it become normal, I suppose. Like I think the reality is like we should all be making art, not just because of some like, I don't know, anti-consumerist capitalist thing of being like, yeah, fuck the corporations, baby, but also because for most people in the art community, we make art not because it just provides us with a living, but because it makes us happy. And I think having a kind of very human first perspective and not a kind of profits first essentially view of like how companies should be run is very important for many reasons, right, in like our kind of larger society. And to incorporate that into the places where we work is definitely an important thing to continue doing moving forward.
Cool.
Which is why I'm selling my voice, guys. So you can make your own podcast.
Anyway, so this is the first AI generated podcast.
Totally. And you know, it's choices.
Yeah.
Like not everything, like sometimes you don't have choices, but this is a choice.
Yeah.
A very, very easy choice to make in most cases. And yeah, like ask yourself why you do something.
I think it's something I wrote about a little bit in the article that I released last year about AI and the general arguments that people have for and against it. And one of the things that always really kind of got on my nerves was people kept saying, it's progress, man, it's progress. And it's like, I think one thing that everybody should always remember is that progress is not linear, right? Like there isn't just one route forward. There's many, many routes forward. The ways that technology is used and evolved, the way that we kind of like integrate these things into our societies, they're all driven by human choices, right? And if we choose not to, or like if we choose to actively combat having things that we actually love doing replaced by machinery, that probably will have some impact on how that goes essentially.
Yeah, totally. And so I think, was it you, Dan, that used an example once that it's like, you know, we know how to clone sheeps. We know it's probably not too far from cloning other stuff.
Yeah.
And we're actively
don't do it.
Not doing it. Like we're not doing it quite hard. Like there was so many, like I don't know how many, there's quite a few laws, right, against cloning.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
That's been a choice, right? And I mean, in progress, I mean, I don't know, you could do so many things with cloning, right? But we're not doing it.
Yeah.
So
just because something exists doesn't mean it has to be used. It's the same thing with nuclear energy. It's like you can use it to create some of the cleanest fuel in the world and, you know, do massive like positive global ecological stuff, or you can use it to make weapons, right? It's all human choices. But anyway, I think we probably need a whole episode on AI alone. But hopefully, like for next year, the thing is just like keep pushing against it, I feel, and keep doing what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to finish with it, I just want to say that personally.
Yeah, the final note. Yeah.
As an artist who works in movie industry for like a few years now, I want to share that I'm really fine with it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not fine with AI. I'm fine with it being. I'm not scared about it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
I'm not scared either.
I don't think any of you guys should be. Honestly, just do your thing. It's all good.
Except for David, you should be worried, man.
What? Which David?
I don't know. It's just a joke.
Attenborough.
Yeah, David Attenborough. He should be scared.
Yeah.
He probably will be turned into an AI voice. He probably is already an AI
Yeah,
voice.
yeah.
Which is a shame. I feel like he's an easy impersonation.
Which I'm also selling.
Can you do impersonation of David Attenborough?
Here we see Stefan at a podcast in his natural habitat. I don't know. I can't remember what he sounds like. Anyway, old British guy.
Very British.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's like our general stuff. I guess I'll start with talking about like some of my personal stuff this year as well.
Yes, Daniel, please tell us.
That I will. One thing that, so I'm going to talk a bit about like things that I felt didn't go that well and then things I want to do next year as well. One thing that I kind of realized this year is like, I feel like a lot of my work often has like a variety of styles. I feel like people can tell that it's my work, but one thing I realize is that it's probably beneficial, especially when you look at like a lot of the big concept artists, to have like maybe a project that people can look to identify you with, or like something that really sets you apart as like, this is me. And I think because I have such a general portfolio, maybe that's one thing that I want to develop in the coming year, is to like start pushing more for specific kind of work and these kind of things. I don't know, do you have...
You're definitely a sci-fi artist. I was gonna say, like, I think if there's one way to describe your portfolio and your work, is you are the sci-fi artist.
Like,
I don't know if you're
sci-fi,
like the sci-fi artist on ArtStation, you know, like in the world, but you are definitely a sci-fi.
one of them.
Yeah, you're like someone who looks and you go, oh yeah, that guy, he does sci-fi. You know,
sci-fi saturated with some,
you mean like colorful?
I almost did a very bad joke. I'm not gonna do it. Sci-fi saturated, and the last letter is gonna be.
I was gonna say shit, wasn't it?
Design heavy, I guess.
With brushstrokes in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Nicely and painterly and stuff.
So like,
I feel like your style is very recognizable, personally.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know it's something that I kind of want to look into a little bit more, because I think one thing is that, like, although there is maybe, like, when you look at my portfolio en masse, there's a recognizable look to it. I kind of want to start developing, especially since we're all kind of like early in our careers, right? I want to start thinking about, like, in 20 years time, where do I want to be skills wise, you know? And like actually starting to direct some of my learning in that direction. Like, do I want to be like Craig Mullins, or do I want to be like John Park, or do I want to be like Pascal Blanche or Mobius, or, you know, like, and actually starting to concertively make an effort to build up some of these skills. And maybe also, you know, one thing that I did this year was I did a lot of experimental processes, not like anything crazy, but like there were some images that I did this year where I used like barely any 3D, and it was just a lot of photo bash. And there was some where I used like 100% 3D, and some where I did a mix, and some where I did more painting than I usually would. And I do think that led to a certain disparity in quality with some of the images I made this year, which I don't think I regret, because I feel like I learned a lot from it. But I want to start like, I don't know. One of the things was, because I was experimenting so much, I realized that they're probably deep inside of me somewhere. There's probably like a very unique perspective on design and world building that I really just want to try and pull out of me over the next year, if that makes sense. To, you know, it's like if you look at like Sheng's work, like Sheng Lam, he has such a unique perspective on mech design. If you look at Jamie Jones' portfolio, he has such a unique perspective on like what a keyframe looks like. And I think that's what I want to start developing more, is like
a visual identity.
Yeah, like, and not just a, I mean, as you said, like, I think people can tell that some work is my work, but more than that, like, not that it's just my work, but also that like my personality comes through as well, in a way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Totally. So I totally get that. Something as well I kind of want to go forward is in a similar fashion, is like have a more identifiable. I feel like every podcast I say that wrong. Identifiable portfolio, or like,
right.
Or like, you know, I've quite enjoyed doing creators lately, so I kind of want to continue that and see where it can take me. And also, I think a pretty big challenge I want to keep doing is like, which I don't know if I'm failing or succeeding yet, but is really try and create new stuff. But by new, I mean like, I don't want to see anyone else having the same idea before I do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to be the 1000th guy doing a castle on a hill with a cloud.
Original idea.
Yeah. And it's something that, I don't know, sometimes probably I don't do as much work because I'm just thinking, no, I need to find a good idea. No. And that's something I really want to continue doing. And, you know, it's having like this, every time someone sees it, it's like, that's clever.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess some sort of world building. There's a project I kind of have in mind, which is like kind of developing a world. I mean, that's so fucking cheesy, but like kind of expanding on a similar visual identity of the world, let's say, and not create a world necessarily, but just having some. Can you say a red line through the projects? You say that in French. It's a
consistent,
it's like a consistent, something that goes through many projects which are kind of tied up together. Yeah. And can lead something or never lead to anything.
Can I ask you a semi-related question to that? Do you think that, because I also feel the same way, as like, I want to make like unique stuff. Do you think that's more prevalent now this year because of AI? Do you think like part of that is kind of a reaction to the stuff we've seen there?
probably. And also, yes, I think because
Yeah.
AI
Interesting.
AI gets visual quality, AI and 3D and assets and
Yeah.
packs and easy tutorials to follow makes it that it's very easy to get a very good level visually.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get to generic things
It's in-
fast. And AI even more, right? Because
Yeah,
you have to click one button.
No, you have to type at least 5 words in. Come on.
You have to ask ChatGPT to type a prompt for you. And yeah, so yes, probably yes, true, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, Stefan?
I think it's a very unique way to look at it. Actually, I never thought about it in that sense. But for example, ever since I was in uni, I wanted to make original, and I think everyone wants to make an original work. But like, I also was like chasing that idea that no one ever saw, and that idea, that project that no one ever thought of. And not always. I definitely did that more in uni, and then I stayed away from it. And then when I did Ryan Fair's project, I kind of like came back to that old way of doing things, where I actually thought about things a bit more and tried to develop something more unique.
Yeah.
But I do think that part of it was always driven because I was afraid that if I don't have a unique and interesting idea, then I'll just be in the sea water of all these other artists.
Yeah.
And I'll never stand out, you know?
I guess part of it is probably as well, like, when you're learning, it's probably more efficient to stay to more generic ideas because you improve your technical skills better. I know you have more points of comparison. Not to say that if you're learning, you shouldn't come up with unique ideas, but you generally don't, I think, is the honest thing, right? Like, even if you think it's a unique idea, if you don't have the experience back behind it, often what you're doing is fairly generic, whether you think it is or not. And maybe that's also why all of us are kind of like hunting those more unique ideas now, is because we've developed enough skills and enough career. And, we all have portfolios that kind of represent our skill level. And, now it's time to maybe show more personality in our stuff.
And, like, you work 8 hours per day. Like a project needs to be valuable enough for me to spend more of my time in a day continuing to paint,
totally.
right? I don't want to, like, I'm already spending 8 hours per day painting or doing concept art.
Yeah.
So, and some of it is cool, some of it is boring. But if I do it after that, definitely needs to be cool. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it.
Should we, you want to keep going? Or should I'm like, you talking?
I do want to keep doing the podcast, yeah.
No, yeah.
I think we should.
Should we all like answer this question step by step? What do we want to improve, or should we?
Yeah, I
Just,
don't know.
if you have something to say, just say
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
No, I don't know.
All
I mean,
right.
I have things. I don't know. So I have things that
I am perfect.
But wait,
I can only decrease now.
I got lost. I got lost because for some reason I thought we're doing a different way. But, so what I want to improve or something.
Anything
what you learned this year.
All right, so this
year
year
improve next year.
So one thing that for me that happened this year is that I start to focus more on my career for the first time since like I started the career, I guess, or since I finished uni. So and that for me that meant that I stopped to work out as much, and maybe to some that might be
it's
like
major character development.
Yeah, and also
No.
also there's very like if I say I stop working out as much, it's like I stop working out, right? If Stefan says he stopped working out, it's like I'm only going 3 times this week.
Yeah, so I aim to go 4 times a week, but sometimes I do only go 3 times a week, and on very rare occasions I go twice a week in the gym.
Wow, pathetic, honestly.
Yeah. But to be honest, I don't know. I also changed my workouts to like start focusing a bit more on health, and so I do more cardio now as well. Something that I haven't done before. But
How has, besides not going to the gym as much, how have you targeted this year to growing your career more?
I decided to do a course with Ryan Fair, do a mentorship, which helped me a lot to just finally do a finished kind of personal, not a project. I won't call it a project because it's only one painting, but it was like a full project. So I think that helped me and pushed me a bit more. And just the fact that I have a schedule around doing personal work in the mornings, or if I don't have the effort to do personal work, sometimes I do concept 101 stuff, some bunch of emails.
And how do you feel about this? Do you like it? Not the concept one-on-one emails. We don't like those. But did you like doing more work?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was I think retrospectively looking at it, I think it's the right choice to do right now, because right now I have so much more opportunities around me. I have Daniel, I have you, Jules, I have like close friends that can help me out and improve. We also have a bigger team at work as well right now. So, and my art director constantly sitting on my ass to do improvements and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like now I have a lot of community around me that pushes me in my career. I think it would be dumb for me to be like, I'm just gonna work out all the time right now. I don't care about getting better at painting, because right now I have all the motivation around me.
I definitely think it's a great thing to balance it more, like you seem to be doing now, which is like you can still go to the gym quite a lot and you can still do some personal work, and it's also been very motivating to see you also doing more personal work lately. It's great to see. I think it's always great to see your friends doing more personal work and like be like, hey, look at what I did, and like a sick keyframe. You're like, oh fuck, I need to do one as well.
I think it's great to see your friends being happy.
Yeah,
and I think I think as with everybody, like there's times where you're more like down about doing this stuff. It has been nice actually to see how happy it's made you to improve your work, and I think we've all seen like the massive improvements that you've made over the last year, because you really have improved like a lot. Like way more than anybody else I know this year, and that's been great to see, and I think that's super cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
It is, man.
Appreciate it.
I've got a thing which is not something I did bad, but
go for it. I have one after.
Okay, it's something that was an achievement for me that I'm incredibly happy about, which is I finally got my art in an art book for a movie.
Yes. That was so amazing.
Getting my stuff in the creator art book is that was special.
Daniel said it very slowly in the creator art book. Just want to say it's the movie that came out.
The movie,
no one saw it.
Sci-fi movie.
There's a massive spreadsheet. Is that what you call it? It's
double spread.
Double spread in the art book. Super cool, of the head design.
I gotta say, it was probably cooler than seeing it in a film. Honestly, in a way, I think it was such a. Man, it's a great moment for me.
It's immortalized now. It is.
Kind of in a way, yeah. But it
totally is. It's great.
Yeah.
It's books as a concept artist is what you look up to. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you see a movie, but you don't see the concept.
Yeah.
You buy a book to see the concept. You have, I think most of you guys listening to this, if you're really into concept art, hopefully you have maybe 1 or 2 books or more, and you look at them, you're like, oh, that's so fucking cool. I want to do that one day. And I mean, I haven't got any of my art in the book yet. And hopefully it's going to happen at some point.
We'll all be very excited when you do it.
But that's like such, like, I'm so happy for you. It's like so sick. It's so amazing to be able to see your fucking work in a book.
To have been buying them since I was like 15 and always, I guess, like dreaming about like getting to that skill level where a piece of work of mine deserves to be in the book. It was a very special moment. And it really finally felt like I was part of the industry in a weird way, where I was like, I'm visibly part of the industry now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not just a guy who, I mean, obviously I've worked at ILM and Frame Store and they're amazing companies, but it's like a step beyond. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I can't just say like I've worked at these places or I've worked on these films. There's like almost like proof that I've done it.
Yeah. And I think this also probably impacted you even more so. That is the first time you have a very big opportunity to show your work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because before that, you were able to show some...
I showed one VFX frame.
Yeah, one image, right?
Yeah.
And so, and also it's amazing that you're able to show work on the creator, because I think it's one of the most hyped concept art movies, right? So it's like the perfect occasion to start... Sorry, nothing happened.
Daniel didn't just spit it into his cup.
There was one of those bits of calcium from the kettle in the bottom of it. It got stuck on my tongue. It was gross. Sorry.
We're having tea.
I ruined that nice moment that we were having.
Anyway, it's very nice. It's very nice to be able to share your work.
Yeah.
And it's also, for me, this year, the first time I'm able to also share my work.
Yeah.
Not in an art book, but online. And I've been able to share lots of the Wednesday image,
which is super cool. Yeah,
the exact material stuff. By the time you're seeing this, also a lot of Doctor Who stuff has been out, so probably I'm going to be able to show some Doctor Who stuff, and a lot of the work I've been working on also lately probably will be able to be shown at some point, and it feels very good, and I totally get that, and yeah, it feels like you can finally show your non-artistic friends or your
Yeah.
grandpa or who the fuck. Like, hey, this
is specifically what I do.
me.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Look at it.
And it's very good. It's very rewarding, and it's lovely. And also just seeing the shows that you also worked on, I guess.
Yeah, it's really nice.
As an extension to that, is also very nice.
I've got another one. If nobody, I can just.
Yeah, I'll have one after that.
You go now.
Okay.
You've spoken less.
Something else that we did is that we got. I mean, when I say we, Dan as well did it. We both got a second job,
That sounds like we're working 2 jobs at the same time.
which we are. I'm a barman.
Yeah, concept artists and paywall. Me and Jules also work at a bar together.
Yeah,
We work at Frame
in a
Stuff
club.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I used to work at another company, and for the first time in my
Painting
career, I got
practice.
my painting practice, and first time in my career, I got another job. It's like a second job, barman.
Jeez.
I got another job, which
You got your next job.
my next job, yeah, which is to work at Frame Store.
And yeah,
And
same for me was.
It's been very interesting to like switch company,
Yeah.
get to know new people, get to know new workflows, work on different scale of projects, for example.
Yeah.
And it's been very nice, and it's definitely something I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well because we spoke about this. Like the difference from applying for your first job versus applying for your second job
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the first job, they're like, we're gonna beat you every day and you're gonna like it. And then the second job, you get once you have like some experience under your belt and you've worked at a real company and you've done some projects, they're like, so what can we do for you? It's a much nicer process.
Like how can we have you be happy, and how can we make you join? Yeah, it's crazy experience to being a student and applying to places and being like, please, I want to work, and to now, or like a year ago, being reached out to, and I was like, oh wow, holy shit, like it's such a nicer experience,
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was, I guess, a big win for this year.
Yeah. And a big learning experience, I think, but too for both of us.
So yeah. I think joining new work is always a big improvement in my. It's been every time a big improvement in my skills, just because you get to learn from new people, you get to see new perspective of concept art, you get to work on different shows, and it's quite nice to be working on a quite broad variety of shows because you kind of broaden your skills by default because you keep doing different stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been very nice.
Yeah, I cannot say that I have joined another company because I haven't. But this year I have.
Just say it anyway.
Yeah, this
You
year.
become a barman as well.
Yeah, of course, barista at a strip club, men's strip club.
Okay.
Want to precise more?
So I have moved to different project. I cannot say much, but I can just say that it's been a great experience also. Working because in games when you spend the first project that I worked on at the London team was for 2 years or something, and then we moved on. Other people still stayed on that project, but I moved on to another one. I think within games, you always develop multiple ideas, multiple projects. So you will be, if you are an internal concept artist, you will be moving around probably every, 2-3 years, depending on how long they want you on the project. But yeah, so we have also grown our team significantly. So at the beginning of this year, it was only me and Marcus, I think, working together. And now we have me, Marcus, Dave, Astri, Leah, and Gerald. So it's 6 of us, I think. And then
I didn't even know there was so many people now.
Yeah, so it's 6 of us, 3 people focused on character, concept art, 3 people on environment, and Sam Hogg leading the team.
Cool, yeah.
With as the art director.
And it must also feel much nicer for you to have more people that are similar to you now around you, right?
Yeah.
It's like instead of being just one concept artist, now you have 6 weirdos next to you and you can talk about art.
We all do things slightly differently, our own approaches, and we all kind of starting to learn from each other. And I honestly enjoyed everyone who joined. I really am happy for Dave that he joined us as well. I think he brought a lot to the team, and same with everyone really. I mean, some of the guys like the Leah and Astrid are character concept artists that just joined. So far, they are still integrating into the team, but it's an exciting time, and it's exciting time to work on the stuff we do.
So I guess it's going to be nice for next year to get to meet them more, and I guess strengthen the team's
friendships.
bonds. Yeah. And this also
Shout at each other. Across,
no.
Wrong concept.
Yes, not gonna debate. Just gonna say no. That's it.
I think we missed that bit in the day of the life of a concept artist, where
Yes,
you all sit
yeah.
at a table and scream at each other. That's regular.
Yes.
That's a wrong process.
This year was also the first year for me where I actually have an office not far from where I live.
Yeah.
We haven't been to the office that much, but we've been to the office quite a few times with Dan, and it's been quite fun.
And we're
something
going to go more next year.
Exactly. Something I'm looking forward to is going more to the office, is getting out of the house a bit more. And just having more artists around me, which is Dan.
You don't see me enough.
No.
Do you know what I have enjoyed about going to the office is our little coffee breaks and just sitting and relaxing together and chatting during kind of, I don't want to say during the workday, but like when we have downtime during the workday, being able to chill together, which is so nice rather than when you sit at home and you're like, okay, I have 5 minutes, and then you just like stare at the ceiling or something, or you just like look at your phone, or like actually getting to meet people and have like human interaction. I've realized, I think, over the last year how important that is and how beneficial it is for your mental health, which I know a lot of people are kind of like, no, I only ever want to work from home. But at least for me, I can say that it's something I'm looking more for in a lot of ways. So trying to actually see people and do things and be with my friends and
with, I think, no matter what the relation is, I guess, colleagues or friends, it's always great. Yes, prisoner. It's always good to meet the people, and you know, every time I meet you guys, I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
After I go back to hating you until next time we meet. No, but it's very important, and I'm looking forward to that. And I guess new projects, new more work coming up. Hopefully, some more projects. Some what else? a new event.
Oh yeah, I guess we have that to look forward to. A whole new event to plan.
We've already started to work on the next one.
We maybe already mentioned that. I don't know.
That's gonna be it's fine. It's coming up.
Yeah,
we already announced it a while ago anyway that it was coming up. So we've been already working hard for this, which is the first time we start that early.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's gonna go well.
Hopefully it's better next year.
Yeah, better, bigger, and yes, Dan.
Yeah, one thing. So this is unrelated. I was going to another topic. Unless you have anything.
I also have another topic.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about the event a bit more.
All right.
Because we also something we did this year was the event, right?
Yeah.
But we talked about it.
Whatever.
We already did the podcast about that, I guess.
Yeah. Everyone knows.
But looking forward to the event. More things coming up.
More.
By
by
the
the way,
time-
by now we'll have done the charity thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is something that I'm really so. I'm sure hopefully by this point that the podcast is out, everybody will have seen the Christmas bundle charity fundraiser, which is something that we're doing for Concept 101 this year, using our platform to try and do something positive. Honestly, this is something that I've wanted to do ever since we started Concept 101, and it's been really amazing to see all the contributions people gave for the bundle. And although I can't say, that we raised all the money, I'm happy that we're doing it anyway, because I think it's a really good use of the community that we have to try and do something that's genuinely positive outside of the art community that helps other people too.
Totally. And hopefully it was also a very good value for anyone who got it.
I think it's such good value. All of the stuff that we have in there is worth way more than the £10 donation.
£10,
I mean, it's like literally hundreds of pounds.
So if you donated, thank you very much.
Yeah, so especially because of the system we use, which I'm sure we will have explained prior to this anyway, but because we did it through Just Giving, literally all of the money goes through them, and there's no taxation, no sending fee, especially because it's going from a UK company to a UK company. So pretty much every single cent of the money goes to UNICEF, which is just amazing to be able to facilitate that.
Nothing went through us whatsoever. Like, it's just...
which is the benefit of using Just Giving.
We're just the people saying, hey, give the money here.
Yeah,
that's it.
One thing that I did horribly wrong this year, this is probably my biggest L, was there was a point this year where I massively overstretched myself, and I was doing way too much work. I'm not going to give any specifics about anything, but I was just doing way too much, including the event and other stuff alongside that, and the mentoring and my day job. And it was probably the worst mistake of my life, because I mean, it was great working with all the people I worked with, and I love doing the mentoring, which is why I'm still doing the mentoring now. But I really, at one point, just had to like sit back. I remember I just like sat down one day. I was so fucking drained, and I was like, technically I can do all of this stuff. Like, there's just about enough hours in the day. But I was like, I haven't enjoyed my life in like 3 months, pretty much, and that was a pretty brutal fuck up on my end, I think, because it really affected me in a pretty bad way.
I remember, like, every time I would see you, I would be like, Dan, I'm just saying it, but maybe you should stop doing that much.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I'm good, man. And I was like, you sure?
Yeah, I think I was like wired on adrenaline of just like always, like pretty much every waking hour of my day I was working.
Yeah, insane.
And it was, I guess, like, there's obviously the benefits to doing that, which I was very productive during that time period, but I'm so happy that I've kind of forced myself to have a little bit more work-life balance now, because I've been able to immediately, I was able to get like 2 projects out the door, which gave me so much more happiness, like painting things I actually cared about. And I've been able to take time to relax and spend my weekends doing stuff that, isn't concept art, which has been amazing. And I guess, I hope that's something that continues for the next year, is that I continue to be able to balance myself rather than just throwing my brain into every fucking corner of the room and just hoping it works out. Yeah.
That's great, man.
Thanks, man. And also, I will say, as part of that, I think one thing that's been really great is the mentoring. Mentoring has been awesome to do this year. It's been great to see it grow and to be like doing it with more people on a regular basis. And like this year, by like towards the end of the year, I've had like 5 students going all the time, which is awesome to be working with that many people. I've been working with people like in industry as well, not just students, which has been honestly like quite an honor, I think, in a way, to have people who actually have jobs reach out to me and be like, hey man, can you like work with me through this stuff? And that's been pretty amazing, honestly, to be able to work with those people too. And I've just found it very uplifting and like genuinely enjoyable. And yeah, I hope that continues next year as well, because I've really, really enjoyed it.
It's a very fun process, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like, it's just very fun to sit with someone and see the progress or be able to explain. It's also very nice for yourself to kind of think about it and be like, okay, how do I do this? How can I help someone? Yeah. And it's amazing.
I think it's geared a lot of my personal improvement in my artwork as well, because so many people who I've worked with over the last year, they've asked me questions which I've never even thought about. Like, why do you do this? How do you do that? And to be forced on the spot to actually explain that is very challenging in a really positive way, because it forces all of those like bits of your brain that for the last 3 years have been relaxed, because like you learned perspective like 3 years ago, and suddenly somebody asks you something about it, or how did you do it, and like it's like all of those little neurons start firing up again. And just to be able to have that on a weekly basis where I'm dealing with unexpected stuff and getting to talk about like why something doesn't work, why something does work, has then really helped my own stuff, because I can then take all of those conversations I have with people in the mentoring process and reapply it back into my stuff.
And if you think actively about it, then you're gonna also maybe think harder about it when you do your own work.
Yeah.
Rather than just being a muscle.
Totally.
Muscle memory.
I guess for both of you guys as well, you've both done your first bits of mentoring this year as well, right?
It's been very fun. Gone through a whole project with Adrien. It's been very fun. Really enjoyed it. Yeah. Looking forward to hopefully do more. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
I'm doing one with Xenia as we record this. Xenia,
you don't have to give her full name.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And then... yeah, it's going good. I've done 2 demos for her so far. Yeah, it's I feel more like it's a challenge because I'm doing it for the first time, and I really want to do a good job. And the first 2 weeks I'm taking on maybe a bit more teaching that I would want to do essentially, because the first lesson was almost 3 hours, the second one 3 hours as well.
3 hours.
Yeah,
that's the
both of the demos, and so it's like a lot. And once we start doing the project, I think it's gonna get easier for me, harder for her probably, but that's fine. But I think she's doing great, and you're right. It really forces you to kind of make sure you know what the fuck you're talking about before you talk about it, you know, and people will be asking you on the spot question. And also, I feel like I almost surprised myself that I know all these things in a way.
Wow, that was so well explained.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, actually, I know, because I mean, over the last year, Daniel was also like really hammering in for me like valley structures and things like that on all my paintings, and I feel like now I can kind of explain it a little bit better than I would, and that's good for me. So.
I guess because we're coming towards the end now, but I do have one thing that I want to end on, which is...
Wait, I want to say something.
All right.
Yeah, we have a while. Don't worry.
I just wanted to... Okay.
Do you need to finish on this, or you want to say it now?
I do want to finish on this, yeah.
Okay, so one more thing I want to say. I want to say about...
God damn it, we need to write notes. We know what to...
Yeah, I don't even know if I have new things. I need to think about them. It's New Year's, guys. We're going to be relaxed. Yeah. Anyway, you're probably hungover when you listen to this.
Yeah. I want to kind of talk slightly about what I would want to work on and improve on next year.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
So like this year, I focused a lot on my 2D and design as well. And I want to continue working on that, but I think my focus is gonna start to slowly shift to like keep doing sketching in my sketchbook. I do a lot of it at work, so I am less worried about that. Like at the like maybe 4 months ago, I was really worried about sketchbook being my priority and my ability to design. But now that I kind of have that more in automatic, I want to start working on painting and improving my painting skills. And my ability to kind of like just my inner Craig Mullins, you know. That's if that makes any sense.
My inner Mozart, inner Da Vinci, my inner.
I want to start figuring out, just like what Daniel was saying, where do I see myself in the next maybe 10, 15 years as a concept artist, and what are the fundamentals that I really want to strengthen. Yeah, so
it's a funny thing because I feel like the three of us are in a... It's like we're established artists in a way, like not crazy established, right? But we are in the industry for more than 2 years.
Some people come up to us from time to time.
Yeah, like we're doing okay-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like an in-between where it's like, it might go well in the future, you know? But at the moment, it's like, yeah, it's
That's
going.
so accurate.
You know what I mean? Like now it's just... Now, I guess our career are going, but that's it. And it's like, we'd love to go much higher or whatever, but it's like, now it takes time. It takes time and experience and skills and stuff like this.
And luck, I think,
and
as
luck,
well.
and putting yourself out there, a lot of work. And I guess the three of us are in this process where we just have to do shit for a while.
Paying for followers on Instagram.
Yes, for views now. I know you guys are bots. We can say whatever we want.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a funny, like, I think this year more than any other year in my life, I've asked myself, why am I doing this? What do I want? Where do I want to be? Okay, but if I want to be there, what do I need to do? And it's been a lot of thinking, and sometimes a bit too much. You know,
putting that Swiss education to use.
Exactly. 2 + 2 = 5. and sometimes thinking too much about what you want to do, you kind of forget that you're in a good place, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's, hopefully it continues going well, I guess. Something I want to do next year is go to more events as well.
Okay.
This year we've been to Nonstop Barcelona, and it was the first event I've been, I guess. We talked about that, and I definitely want to go to more events and enjoy more of the art community as a little dude in the crowd, and not as a
participant rather than an organizer. Yeah, 100%.
And also, why not? Maybe I'd like to. I guess it's quite ambitious, but do some lectures at some point at events as well. That'd be very cool.
That'd be so awesome. Yeah.
So that's something I quite want to challenge.
Please let us do a talk at your
release
event.
Release a tutorial. I think that's on the
tutorials as well.
Closest horizon to most of us, all of us.
I always wonder with tutorial. There's always that anxiety, I think, of releasing a tutorial and being like, yeah. So I mean, I guess I learned this from other people.
So the brush I use is jam as. Never mind.
I think that is like an honest thing. I guess one of the things with a tutorial is trying to find a unique angle that you can teach.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people create tutorials which are sure fairly similar to ones that have pre-existed. And I think that's still valuable in its own way because people explain things in different ways and have different outlooks. But yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I think it would be cool to. I mean, I have one coming out with the charity bundle, which was honestly that was very interesting because it's not a very complicated tutorial. I hope that some people listening to this found it useful, or maybe anybody even opened it.
I did find it useful.
Thank you, Jules.
I will
appreciate
check it
that.
out. I will check it out.
I hate you, Stefan.
I'm sure. I listen to you all the time.
But yeah, that was interesting because I had all this anxiety about making a tutorial, and then I did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was actually not that bad.
I think it needs to be done in the right way, which is with a lot of motivation to actually do quality stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like if you just do a tutorial because you're like, oh, I guess, then don't do it. I quite want to also do one. Probably I don't know where it's gonna go. Maybe YouTube. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I say it here, so now I'm pressured to do it. And yeah, but like I guess if I do one, it's like really trying to bring something new, or trying to bring like a new take on something. You know, similar to work, to personal work. It has to be something new. I don't want another thing. Yes. Hi.
You don't want you don't want more of the same information.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can I do my thing now? Can I do my finale question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
My last thing that I really want to end on is, and it's probably going to get a bit like soppy and lame, but what is like one thing that out of everything you really want to achieve by next year? Like, you know, that next year, if we're recording the same podcast, that we can like sit down and be like, yeah, I did that.
Damn.
These guys are all
You need to
literally
ask this-
Jules's head is in his hands. He's like he's thinking so hard.
You need to ask this question before the podcast. Such a difficult question.
I think one thing that I want to do next year, which I'd be happy if I can achieve it. I mean, like you said, I'd love to do a lecture. I'd love to put out a tutorial. I'd love to keep mentoring. But I really want to have one project done next year that I feel accurately shows me as a personality. And I think that's a pretty big thing for me to do. Like I want to create a piece of work that becomes indicative with the work that I make. You know, like Finian McManus had like the Blue Valley project, which I think everybody knows, and it's like so indicative of like so much of his work. It's such a great piece of stuff to look at. Like Pablo did all of his I mean, it's not like one specific thing, but all of the amazing keyframes he's done over the years,
like image sequence project.
Yeah,
he's been doing,
and it's like I want to try and figure out what it is that like as an artist at this stage of my career, at like this point in my life, actually is like, here's an image that like this interests me. This is my personality. This shows off my skills. Like this is me as a artist more than anything so far in my portfolio. So that's like one thing that I really want to do this year personally.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love to keep updating the portfolio quite a lot, I guess. And but I guess it's not one thing.
Give me one thing.
We have to be one thing.
It's got to be one thing.
Okay, I can try.
Yeah, go on.
Do you want to go first?
I failed. I want to be happy, man.
Yeah.
As much as I am now. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with my life.
That's awesome.
And I want to continue being it. That's it.
That's a great thing. Yeah. I totally. You know what? I'm changing my thing. I want to be happy too.
Yeah, me too. I think you're right. Like in the sense that, I feel like I have a lot right now, and I've never. Yeah, I think first time in like 3 years, I feel like since I started to work, I'm more in a place where I'm happier with my career and with the things that I'm doing and the people that are around me, and it's something that like I never felt until recently, and like I appreciate it every day. So if I can be in the same kind of mindset, the same excitement next year, that's all that matters. If there's more excitement, even better. And if I can keep improving my art skills, and I would say the one thing that for me, if there's one thing that I really want to improve on, it's ability to make work faster.
Okay.
Like consistently make.
I like how you said that slowly.
make consistently good work. I think right now I definitely at work I have days when I do great work and I have days when I do shittier stuff, and I think it's related because of the challenges that I've had at work. Concept art challenges, just like I'm thrown all these tasks that are very, very different and different styles and different painting and stuff like that I've never done. A lot of it is outside of my comfort zone, but I want to get better at it and be more confident. And I think I'm getting there because I finally, for the first time in years, have a better workflow that I used to have. More straightforward, at least.
Nice. I think that's all good. Yeah.
And you guys, what is it?
I was just about to say that. Fuck. Come
yeah?
on, man.
Oh, yeah, really?
You didn't let me have that.
Well, tell us what you want to do.
Yeah. What's your New Year art goal, or even not art goal? Because I think so many things, like you were saying, like being happy, is so also related to your art in a way.
I mean, it is totally related to your art. It's related to so many things. And can I? Yeah.
Go on.
I think it's like something I'm quite happy, especially with lately, is the balance. You know, like reaching a balance where caring enough about art to continue doing it well, but also allowing myself to let go on stuff, especially art, to be like, that's fine, you know, like it's okay. Yeah. Like it's nothing is too important at the end. Yeah. And it's good to care about art quite a lot. It's good to care about the event. It's good to care about many things, but it's okay to let go at some point and be like, okay, it's all right. And same with like balancing with the amount of sports, balancing with the amount of friend time, the amount of girlfriend time, the amount of family time. And I've
Daniel and Stefan time.
Then yes, this is boyfriend time. No, and just like finding a good balance. So at the end, there's no pressure really, or there is pressure, but it feels a bit more effortless. And I think it's fucking hard. It's very, very hard, and I feel like it's getting in the right direction. So I'm very happy with this.
That's probably a lifetime goal.
Yeah.
To be balanced and happy.
Yeah.
Very difficult thing, but I think you're totally right. Yeah. And I think being able to look at everything you do in life and really understand like your own personal capacities for stuff, and to be able to, when somebody offers you that extra thing to do, to be able to have the kind of like internal intelligence, I think, to turn it down and say like, actually, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. You know. Which is something we all struggle with, I think, you know, because we all do a lot of stuff. Cool. Anyway, I guess that's the end of today's episode. If you have any things, like Jules said earlier, any kind of like art New Year's goals, then let us know in the comments.
Yeah, or even if you feel like being reflective about what went good last year, or and what didn't go so well. Yeah, what do you want to improve?
And one last thing as well, if you want to tell us how you think about this podcast, or if there's any subjects or things you want us to talk about it in the new year, because that's going to obviously keep going, is the best moment to tell us about it.
Our New Year's resolution is to listen to the comments section.
Yes.
Especially that one guy who told us to stop. That was a great comment, and I loved it. I can't remember the specific wording, but it was pretty funny.
We got a very, very long and fancy comment telling us that we sucked.
Yeah,
we do have some sweet comments as well.
Yes,
people that like
lately. Thank you very much.
Listen to the podcast by themselves.
But really, what we want are the negative ones, because because when we get a nice one, we go like ah, and then when we get a negative one, we go like fuck this guy. No, but I guess that is one thing to end on as well. Is there? Thank you so much for all the support with the event and with the podcast and all the other stuff we've been doing this year. We really appreciate it, and we hope that the 101 is going to get bigger over the next year, and we'll be able to give you guys more stuff as a result of that. So thank you.
Thank you for listening. And
I think that's part of the outro actually.
Yeah.
Do you want to read? You can read the outro if you want.
No, go for it.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
All right. My New Year's resolution is to always read the outro. But that'll be the end for today's episode. We really hope you enjoyed listening. And if you want more, please feel free to subscribe and ring the notification bell. We release episodes every 2 weeks. And if you want any more additional information about the podcast or the event, be sure to check out our Instagram linked in the description below. Thanks again, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you guys.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Ciao.